Jason had always known there was something wrong with him. It wasn't just the loneliness that gnawed at his ribs like a starving animal, or the way his reflection in the mirror seemed to stare back with pity. It was the hunger, the relentless, insatiable hunger that twisted his gut whenever he passed a woman on the street, her hips swaying, her laughter ringing like church bells in his ears. He wanted them. All of them. But wanting wasn't enough. Girls didn't look at him twice. He wasn't ugly, not exactly, but there was something in the way he carried himself too eager, too desperate, that sent them scattering like startled birds. So, he did what any reasonable man would do. He found other holes. At first, it was just his fist, his fingers, the slick heat of his own body betraying him in the dark. Then it was pillows, rolled-up towels, the soft give of a couch cushion pressed between his thighs. He told himself it was temporary, a stopgap. But the hunger only grew, and soon nothing was safe. The warm hollow of a freshly baked loaf of bread, the tight suction of a vacuum cleaner hose, the gaping mouth of a ceramic vase he found at a thrift store, its glazed lips cool against his skin. He fucked them all. And then, one night, he got stuck. It was a mason jar. A stupid, ordinary mason jar, half filled with pickles he dumped out onto the floor. The glass was thick, unyielding, and when he pushed inside, the rim bit into his flesh with a cruelty that bordered on sentient. He gasped, his hips stuttering forward on instinct, and then panic. A sharp, seizing pain as his cock swelled, the veins bulging, the head catching on the jar's narrow throat. He tugged. Nothing. He twisted, sweat beading on his forehead. Nothing. He tried to smash the jar against the edge of the counter, but the angle was wrong, and all he managed was a pathetic clatter that sent pickle juice dripping down his thighs. For the first time in years, Jason wanted to cry. The hours bled together. He tried ice, oil, even a desperate prayer to a God he hadn't spoken to since childhood. His cock remained stubbornly lodged, the skin flushing an angry red, the pressure building until he was sure it would burst. And then knock, knock, knock. His landlord, Mrs. Henderson, 80 years old, with a spine like a question mark and a nose that could sniff out trouble from 3 blocks away. Jason froze. Jason? Her voice was muffled through the door, but the suspicion was clear. You all right in there? Heard some noise. He swallowed, his throat dry. Fine, he croaked. Just dropped something. A pause. Then the jingle of keys. His heart stopped. The door creaked open, and there she stood, her cataract-clouded eyes widening as they landed on him naked, sweaty, his cock imprisoned in a mason jar like some perverted genie. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then Mrs. Henderson sighed, her shoulders slumping. Oh, Jason, she said, shaking her head, not again. The words hit him like a slap. Again? She shuffled forward, her slippers scraping against the linoleum. Last time it was the mailbox. Remember that? Had to call the fire department. Jason's face burned. He did remember, vaguely, through a haze of tequila and shame. Mrs. Henderson reached into her apron pocket and pulled out a tube of something, lotion maybe, or lubricant. Jason didn't ask. He didn't want to know. All right, she said, rolling up her sleeves. Let's get you out of this mess. And as her gnarled fingers closed around the jar, Jason realized, with a sinking horror, that this was the first time in years someone had touched him. The irony was almost funny. Mrs. Henderson worked with the efficiency of someone who had seen too much and cared too little, her grip surprisingly firm as she tilted the jar just so, the glass groaning against Jason's swollen flesh. He bit back a whimper, part pain, part humiliation, as she poured a thick, floral-scented liquid around the rim. The lube, because of course it was lube. Jason wondered how many other tenants she'd rescued from similar predicaments. The jar gave way with a wet pop, and Jason stumbled back, his knees buckling as blood rushed back into his freed cock. Mrs. Henderson didn't flinch, just wiped her hands on her apron and eyed him like a disappointed schoolteacher. "You need help," she said, matter of fact, as if commenting on the weather. Jason opened his mouth to argue, but the words died in his throat, because she was right. The jars, the mailbox, the way his hand shook when he walked past a woman's perfume counter, none of it was normal. None of it was okay. Mrs. Henderson sighed again, deeper this time, and reached into her pocket once more. This time she pulled out a business card, the edges frayed from age. "My nephew's a therapist," she said, pressing it into his palm. "Specializes in unusual urges." Jason stared at the card, the letters blurring. He wanted to laugh, or scream, or maybe just curl up on the floor and let the shame swallow him whole. Instead, he nodded. And for the first time in years, he meant it.